Ombudsman Malaysia, an independent body to address the wide range of public complaints against government agencies, is slated to be tabled in Parliament in October. We discuss some of its functions and whether or not they are any different from the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) with C4 Centre's Deputy CEO, Sudhagaran Stanley.
Basically, the Ombudsman is an organization that tries to address the maladministration, the bureaucratic inefficiency, improper services provided by government, or even the biasness in certain departments, corruption in certain jurisdictions, negligence, and so on, right? So it is an agency, a private agency or independent agency where the public can go and make these complaints and ask this organization to actually investigate that they have been receiving poor services, or their concerns are not being addressed, or they're not being given proper services by the government. So it's different, right? The jurisdiction is different from the MACC, where the MACC actually investigates corruption and so on. So the closest now agency that we have when we want to compare about the Ombudsman would be the Public Complaints Bureau. So the Public Complaints Bureau is an agency, a government agency, which handles public complaints against different government departments and so on. But the issue here is that the Public Complaints Bureau is established by a circular. So it is not a legal agency which is covered by statute and so on. And so this is why we have been calling for the Ombudsman to come into place. And basically the Ombudsman has already been established in many other countries because they have come to realize that the importance of having an independent agency actually hold accountable government departments and so on.
For an ombudsman to be effective, it must be independent, transparent, and be given extensive powers to investigate any maladministration in government. Stanley lays out his recommendations for the setting up of a successful ombudsman in Malaysia.
First of all, I think the most important thing is that the powers and the structures of the Malaysian Ombudsman must be clearly defined and protected under the law. So we've got to pass this law and possibly even provide for the Ombudsman under the federal constitution, as now we have a 2/3 majority, so we can actually amend the constitution and insert their powers and jurisdiction in the federal constitution. Secondly, I think the Ombudsman in Malaysia must be given extensive powers to investigate any malpractices, poor delivery of services, including to punish those being indicted for contempt, to seek the power to seek documents, including documents that are protected under the OSA or financial laws, examine witnesses, summon officers, even to enter buildings, and even probably whether they could be able to recommend charges to be brought to the public prosecutor, or even to suspend certain employees and so on. Thirdly, they must also be able to investigate not only when complaints are actually being made to them, but I think it's also important for them to have the power to investigate on their own accord. So they can actually open an investigation on any agencies if they feel there is a need to do so and there are issues that actually needs to be addressed. The body, of course, must be an independent body. It must enjoy financial independence and operational independence. The chair should be appointed by a transparent process where people are actually allowed to apply for the positions, and then they should have a security of tenure, and they should not be subordinated to any other government agencies or politicians, right? And it must be clearly spelled out in the Act that it is illegal for any agency or any political power to actually have influence or give directions to this Ombudsman